Do it. Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
We're waiting for Free Ride to stop playing the damn theme song that you can't hear.
Get some. Get some.
And
Do it.
Sliver Slits.
That was
I like that opening.
Yeah, me too. It's a great opening, man.
Great opening. Too bad the fans on YouTube can't hear it.
I know.
Yeah.
But they can if
Tijuana Blast.
they go over to Spreaker.
I never hear it.
You never hear it?
You never heard one of our shows then?
Yeah, he's listened to our shows.
Well, then he had to hear it. If he's listened to any of the shows we've done without video, that's on every show.
Welcome to FreeKing After Dark with the boys. Yeah, we're on, man. We're on.
All right, man. All right, man. Okay.
Okay. So do y'all know who died this weekend?
Herb Tarlick.
Herb Tarlick from WKRP in Cincinnati. Now, there's one thing I learned by his death was the fact that I didn't know they had a return show in 1994. They did WKRP
Return.
Again. And I never saw any of those episodes. So I went on to YouTube and looked them up.
Right.
Yeah, it's no wonder they got canceled. It wasn't pretty.
I do remember it was on Fox, and it was horrible because most of the main cast didn't come back. It was like Gary or Andy, I mean, and Herb and Les, and
And they had a different owner, didn't they? Didn't they have a different owner?
Yeah, I think they did. And it wasn't that good. You can't capture the magic again.
No, there's no way you can get the magic again.
No, that would be like Seinfeld coming back, and it would be horrible because it wouldn't be the same. Or MASH, right?
MASH, yeah. You couldn't bring MASH.
I think MASH was done long enough ago to maybe to a younger crowd if you change the war to like the Iraq war. It might parlay to some people today, but no, not if you did the same kind. Not if you did the Korean War.
No.
Not
even the Vietnam War.
No.
You couldn't do it.
They couldn't relate. It'd have to be Afghanistan or it'd have to be Iraq. Yeah, definitely.
But then it would work because it's almost a different show. You got to have different You can't have Hawkeye and
Well, it'd be a different Hawkeye. They'd call him Blind Eye or something. Miracle Worker. There's
got to be a Frank Burns though. There's got to be a Frank Burns.
Yeah. Oh, sure. There'll be
hilarious.
I guarantee
it'd be more like the guy in Lost in Space, the doctor.
Dr. Smith.
The pussy.
There would definitely be a clinger.
Yeah, there'd definitely be a clinger because there's plenty of that going around nowadays.
Yeah.
And they don't get this
radar. Of course, there'd be a radar, but you know what? It wouldn't happen. So I was wondering if the president has a phone at all. Does he have a phone number?
He's got a jitterbug.
Because nobody would get his number. Not even the phone company would get his number. I think he's got a somebody else's phone that he uses, but everybody knows the number that he wants to know the number.
Okay. So what's your point? You want us to call him?
I need a fax checker to see what his fucking number is. Joe Biden's
never gonna find Joe Biden's number.
No, he gave up his phone with his credit cards and shit.
Right.
That'd be about right. So he uses somebody else's phone in a different name that bills get paid on it, and he uses the U.S. presidential phone that gets the thing don't track. When he was brought into office, they said, here's your phone. And your phone number, we'll send it to you, and
Yeah. So, what was the point of your story there, Fish Scale?
Does it have to have a
Fish Scale?
I was just trying to get some input out of you guys on.
I don't know what. getting his phone number. I'd rather have Donald Trump's phone number than fucking Joe Biden.
I'd rather have Ron Jeremy's number than either one of them, to tell you the truth. I'm done with politics.
I think Pelosi and I think all them got
Ron
different
Jeremy's
phones.
now. Ron Jeremy, he's in prison. He's in jail right now. So
I know, but I still rather like to hear his stories than either one of them.
Oh, absolutely.
And
I met him twice. Yeah, I met him twice.
Ron Jeremy.
Did you meet him with clothes on or not with clothes on?
Clothes on.
Okay. All right. I'm just checking. You never know.
So where'd you meet him at, man? That's an interesting story. You met Ron Jeremy. Huh?
You met him once at night at don't tell me, Las Vegas. I remember that.
No.
No. Was it Los Angeles then?
Once I met him in San Diego though, but I met him in Simi Valley next door to my house. My neighbor was a porn dealer, and he dealt in VHS tapes and shit. So dirty movies,
We got it.
We got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We pretty much got it. Yeah.
He actually he was visiting there, had a trunk full of tapes, and he was dropping them off or something, and I was backing out of my driveway, and I said, "Is that Ron Jeremy?" And I looked at him, and he looked at me, and then I went around the block to make sure I wasn't hallucinating.
Now, not. I know you don't like men, but did you notice him because of his look, or did you notice him because he had a big bulge in his pants?
No, he was pretty sloppy.
He was always sloppy.
He's always a slob. Yeah. He's always been a slob.
Always.
Yeah, I'm sure he has sex.
And shirt, and be a old pop belly and shit,
Yeah, he's disgusting.
But
I just got to ask a question.
You can tell in his face who he is. I mean, come on.
He's an ugly motherfucker.
What was it with you men in the 70s wearing fucking cutoff shorts?
Well, just one of them things, man. I mean, it's what we did. I never wore cutoff shorts.
Stop it. I remember my uncle, who I thought was always the toughest son of a bitch ever, wearing cut-off shorts and clogs, dude. Clogs, playing football in the street with us. I'm like, what the fuck?
Wearing clogs in the street.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's dangerous as hell. Talk about stubbing a toe. Talk about ripping the skin off your feet.
Oh yeah.
On pavement. Oh hell yeah.
Been there, done that. Who wore
the guy
clogs?
never got no pants.
I never wore clogs.
He's wearing cutoffs. Hey, back in the 70s, that's what we did. Everybody had cutoff jeans.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you got holes in your knees, you cut them off and they're short.
Especially back east.
No.
Yeah.
I would never wear cutoff shorts, man.
You were older than that. See, you had to have them all tailored and hemmed and shit like a little sissy.
No. In the I wore Bermuda shorts.
Yeah, his mommy bought him Bermuda shorts, the plaid ones.
That's
back in the
plaid ones, the gay ones.
We take the string and rip them off and shit and shorten them,
Look how handsome my little boy is. Oh.
Do you know who else wore fucking cutoffs? Fucking Daisy Duke.
Daisy Duke. Yeah, but are you comparing yourself to Daisy Duke?
I didn't wear cutoffs.
Daisy Duke was hot. She could show them fuckers off. I always liked it. They always got an ass view of her, man. Her fucking butt cheek hanging out of her.
Well, that was their best asset.
If you ever been to a Grateful Dead concert, they all had fucking cutoffs out there.
Yeah, they did. I've been to many of them. I didn't. My whole style's always been cargo shorts, really, as far as I can remember.
That's what I'm wearing now is cargo shorts.
But now I wear basketball shorts now because they're better for fat guys.
They are better for fat guys.
The 1960s basketball shorts?
No, never. Though you mean the one where your nut was barely tucked in there?
Larry Bird had many accidents with his balls hanging out.
I don't get the shorts.
No, you had to wear a jock strap. You had to wear a jock strap.
Yeah, but the shorts were almost to their balls, and the fucking socks were past their knees. What the fuck?
Remember? Do you remember that?
I remember that. I remember Dr. Dr. J with Daisy Dukes on and fucking socks up to his thigh. It's like, are you kidding me? Just don't make longer shorts or something, you know? Now they wear shorts past their knees and stuff, you know, and they don't play any different. I don't think that the short shorts made them play better.
No.
You know, I don't know. It was just a fashion statement. I don't fucking know. They were stupid. And if you're going to wear short shorts, why would you fucking wear socks up to your thighs, man?
I don't understand that. I never did get why they wore their socks all the way up there.
No. You know what else really fucking just grinds into my fucking skin is when you see young men wearing socks and sandals. No.
No. We used to have a couple of dorks like that at school.
They're
they didn't
all over the place now.
Yeah.
My grandfather, who fought in World War II, wore socks and sandals. Okay, and he's from Italy. All right, that's
they all do that. That's typical. That's Italian. That's fucking European. That's not American. That's not American.
That keeps your toes warm and stuff. What's the problem is with that?
Wear a fucking shoe then.
It doesn't look right, man. You can do that and wear pants, but you can't do that and wear shorts and wear them whiteies up to your ankles.
You can buy some white, you know, so that the top of the strap doesn't rub your feet wrong. You put on these booties. They got booties nowadays you can put on. My son used to have them booties. I'd say, how gay is that? You know?
Wait a minute. They're called ankle socks. I wear them too.
Because I always wore socks, knee socks, almost all the way up to my knee. Those were what, over the calf.
And now you wear those circulation socks, so nothing's changed.
I caught my kid putting Nair on his legs, getting rid of all the hair off of his legs. I said, "What the fuck are you doing that for?" He said, "Dad, it keeps me breaking out on my legs and shit."
Yeah.
And I said, "Okay, well, I can understand that, but it's a little bit gay. You want to shave your legs."
Right.
The girls love it. They don't like hairy legs. The girls don't like them hairy legs. And I said, okay.
What gay guy were you talking to? He was trying to get you to fucking shave your legs, you little. He thought he was going to cockle you. You were going to get cockled.
I said, well, what? I don't know. Using Nair on your legs and shit. I mean, I never did get that.
Cockled.
Yeah, that's well, you know what? Men sometimes do weird things for women because sometimes women have weird requests. You know, everybody thinks that men are the horn dogs, but there's a lot of dirty women out there too.
Oh, that's absolutely. You know, we've had that conversation before. I mean, you know, women are, they want to have fun too.
Sure.
I mean, you know.
Cyndi Lauper knew it fucking in 1985.
Yeah, girls just want to have fun, man. They want to have fun. And if that means, you know, going out playing single at night and going out to the bar with your friends, and then that's what it is.
Just send me pictures.
Just send me pictures. You know, videotape it all.
Big schlong in your mouth or whatever, you know.
Right?
Well, I had this kid when I was like, I don't know, I was like first grade or something, and this one kid's trying to tell me that cock is pussy, right? Call it the cock, the pussy, the cock, you know. And I'm going, no, I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I think he was trying to cockhold me. Yeah.
Well, did you fall for his trap?
No.
No.
I'm gonna get you to admit it one week.
That'd be like going into the store and getting some blinker fluid for me, bro.
Yeah.
Right.
The left blinker fluid's harder to find than the right.
Right.
Yeah. I've done that before to a girlfriend, and I sent her in, and I'm like, make sure you get the fucking right stuff. Don't get the left. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you got to get the right blinker's not working, so get the right blinker fluid. And dude, she went in there and did it. And this was before you really had, you know, the cell phones that were good where you can make a YouTube video or whatever. I'm talking 20 plus years ago. And she comes out, and I could see the anger in her face. I just fucking locked the doors and let her stand out there for a few minutes and cool off because I was getting punched. Yeah. You know, I was gonna get punched, but luckily, that didn't happen. You know what's funny is when you and I are talking, and now you could see the intent look on Todd's face when he's reading something, or Free Ride's face there when he's reading something. You know?
I'm checking out our guest website, and
yeah,
that's all. Sorry.
That's all right. I just love busting you. But our guest, wow. I mean, this guy coming on tonight is a very special guy. He's part of Symphony X, great great metal band. Then he's also part of Mike LePond's Silent Assassins, which I remember when they dropped their first album right here on KGF. I was like so amazed by that. I wasn't expecting to hear what I heard. And I was. This is his third time on our program in 7 years. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, really. And yeah, I'll tell you another thing. They've got some new stuff that's coming up, and we're going to talk about what he's got new coming up, and we're going to see if he may be willing to go on tour this fall. So let's bring in our guest right now. Without any further ado, let's bring in Mike LePond, one of our all-time great guests, and we're going to bring him in right about now. And, I got to do the typing and shit. Okay, and then I'm gonna dial him up.
See, that's the thing is, if you're listening on Spreaker right now, you're like can't see what we're doing, so we actually constantly have to talk. But if you watch us on YouTube later on tonight, you could see that sometimes we can just sit here and let Todd ramble on like like he's an auctioneer or something.
Yeah,
yeah.
Jets are flying over my head, so
jets are flying over your head.
Holy cow! It's the apocalypse.
We had the Blue Angels here today.
It's the apocalypse. There he is, Mike LePond. What's up, bro?
How you doing, man? What's up, gentlemen?
What's up? Guido. You've met Guido, and that's a new addition to the show. There, that is Showcase, Showdown, or sometimes known as Knee Scab, and
you'll find me in the yellow pages. Yeah.
How you doing, Mike? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I'm hanging in there.
Oh, great. How's things with you, man? You've been working hard or hardly working?
Well, I mean, it depends. As far as like the touring and stuff like that, there's nothing's going on. So, it's funny. In March of 2020, I moved into a new home, and I figured I had all these tours planned. So I figured, I'll have plenty of money. Everything will be great. And then boom, everything gets postponed, canceled. And so, it's been tough. But, 2021, also, there's going to be no touring either. But I would bet that 2022, it'll come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's very few bands playing on the road this summer. I know, like the big one, like Motley Crue, and that they keep pushing it back. Well, they should, because Vince Neil sounds horrible. Let him get some rest. But the only show that right now that I know that's confirmed that I bought tickets for in 2019 is Billy Joel at the stadium here in Buffalo. But who knows? That could change.
Yeah. Well, I know Judas Priest booked a tour for this year.
Yeah.
Megadeth had a tour until that Ellefson stuff happened.
Right.
Yeah.
But
and that's crazy that whole thing is guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah.
Now, we live in that kind of a world now, and you almost are afraid to do anything. It's crazy.
Yeah, if that happened in the 1980s, no one would bat an eyelash,
Not at all. I know. I mean, it was crazy. Even as far as the things like I was on, radio in the 90s and stuff, I had more freedoms back then than I would now on the radio. It's crazy. It's almost like we've taken a step backwards in the whole society.
It's definitely regressed. And I would imagine in radio, you never know, you say something that someone misinterprets and then all these like and then all these like sissies in their mother's basement with sauce on their shirts come after you. You know what I mean? They'll find something that you said 20 years ago when you were 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Cancel culture, man. It's unbelievable.
That's the thing, that it is unbelievable. And the reason why it's unbelievable is because, I watch comedians now that get ridiculed for stuff they did 20 years ago. Well, everybody in the crowd is laughing. So
everybody's like, they know it's the truth, and they know it's funny as shit. I mean, a comedian today is not near as funny because they're always having to watch what they say. They can never set it up, It's just hilarious, and it's the same thing with you guys because your music. You remember the day, Mike? I don't know if you and give us your opinion of it. But remember the days when they used to blame teen suicide on guys like Ozzie Smith and Dee Snider and all these guys. They used to blame teen suicide and mass murders on rock stars. What do you think? Have we gone past that now to a new generation of hey, fuck you, you can't talk like that?
It's on such another level now. It's like this. It's I definitely we're regressing. We're just getting stupider. Now people are saying there's like 100 genders. It's just stupid shit. You know what I mean?
It is. You know what it is? It's unnecessary shit. Be who you want to be, but
nobody
it's
cares. Why do you got to make an issue out of it, right? Why make an issue out of it? So what? Okay, as long as you don't get near me, we're fine. I don't care. I couldn't tell from 30 feet away. I couldn't tell you were a guy until I saw your Adam's apple, okay, or the size of your hands. I looked at your hands and said, "Whoa, wait a minute, that's a guy."
But how come that if that offends me, I'm wrong? You know what I mean?
Homophobic.
And it's like the whole thing just makes me crazy. But we're way off the subject of where we want to be. We always get like that. So here's a question for you. During the pandemic, did you write a lot, or did you do anything differently?
Oh, sure. Without any of the touring, you have a lot more time on your hands. So, I did a lot of writing, for my solo stuff. And I did a lot more recording for other bands. A lot of bands, even though I guess we were all home, but everybody's got home studios. So, I was asked by a lot of bands to record. So I did a lot of recording. So in that aspect, I didn't slow down at all. So that was cool. And that's pretty much it. I did some more. I was able to do more video content, for whatever, So the only thing really that I lost was the touring. But everything else was, pretty solid. I mean, I released a solo album during the pandemic. They asked me, do you want to just wait? And I said, well, everybody's home anyway. They probably want to listen to something, they probably want to listen to some new music and something to inspire them. So I said, no, put it out,
Right.
And
and you can still do promotional stuff from home.
Yeah. So and I was doing a lot of, just like you said, I was doing a lot of promotional stuff to promote it. And it was all fine, but I do miss playing. I thought, it's weird. I thought that for a little while I was thinking, you know what, screw it. Maybe I'll just, forget it and just retire. But then maybe it's about 6 months into it, I said to myself, man, I miss it. And no matter how stressful it is, I just love it. And I'm going to be doing it till I die,
Well, Well, why not? Paul McCartney just turned 79 years old and he still tours. I mean, seriously, I mean, talk about Jurassic Rock. Hey, look at the Rolling Stones, for Christ's sake. They're going to do it. They're going to do it from the grave. Motherfuck that, man. They say, you ain't keeping me down in the grave, you know?
Yeah. And that's such inspiration when you see guys, you know, I mean, Paul, McCartney is my mother's age. So,
right.
And he's, you know, I mean, so you get so inspired, you know, it's like, wow, if this guy can do it in his late 70s and do it good, man, you know, I'm just going to keep doing it and I'm going to keep having fun. And I realize that it's just in me. It's in me. It's something that burns inside me and I can never let it go, even if I want to. And excellent. I love that. It's awesome. You know, I love making music. I still feel all the music I put out is fresh, and you know, I have no plans to stop.
That's awesome. Who's awesome. You still got the same members in your band, your solo project, or?
Yeah, in the solo project, still got the same guys, and I put out my third solo album during the pandemic, and yeah, it was fun.
What's it called, Mike? What's it called?
That album came out in June 2020, and it's called Whore of Babylon.
Whore of Babylon, excellent.
That was the dude on Top's girlfriend back in the day, the old guy. Yeah, that was his girl back in. Yeah. So what kind of gear are you using now?
Well, you know, for live, I haven't really bought any gear, but I just want to downsize now. You know, I mean, back in the day, all the amplifiers were like they were like so heavy. It was like it was like insane trying to bring these amps up the steps to these venues. But now, with the technology, the heads and the amps are much more lightweight and they're small and they're just as good. Right. So I'm looking into that, and I got this little rig that I take out on tour. It's called a bass fly rig. It's this little pedal, and it gives you all the sounds you want. It sounds like $1 million, and it's like this big, you know.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah, nice.
And
nice. I bet you the roadies like you, huh?
Oh yeah.
Mike, we can set him up last, man. Don't even worry about it. It'd take me 5 minutes to set Mike up.
Yeah. That's exactly what happens. You know, they set up all the guitar players' gear and the drums, and I'm last.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's usually the bass player's usually always the last in any band. Yeah. You know, it's like, oh, let's get him set up. You know, but sometimes it's the drummer too. I'll be I sang in a band or two, and the drummer one time got there like 20 minutes before the gig, and got his shit all set up right before showtime. I'm like, what the fuck? Ow! I don't know how he did it, but he did do it, you know. And but that was the 80s, so you know we had the hair were teased and all that, and it was crazy.
Yeah. That was much more important than the show.
Yeah, did you do any of that stuff in the 80s, or did you play in it, or did you play in more metal bands?
In the 80s, I was really into thrash and power metal. So I didn't really do the hair tease. Well, I still teased my hair.
Right.
I didn't wear like the clothing that the glam guys wore, but I did tease my hair. So I had hair all around. And I would, most of the time, if there were shows, I would usually go to the glam shows because that's where all the girls were.
Right.
You know, at the metal shows, we're just like, you know,
guys.
You know?
Yeah, a lot of guys. Yeah.
And the only women that were there were the guys' girlfriends or chicks that could beat you up. You know.
Yeah. We don't want to say anything controversial. We don't want to discuss it, man. Don't cancel yourself. Be careful. No, hey, it's all right because that's usually the case. I mean, there's a lot of guys showing up for the heavy metal and the thrash, and then for the glam rock. That's where all the women showed up. That's where all the women were, man, because they love guys with makeup on. They love makeup, man.
Well, that was great too because I did a lot of like DJing in those clubs and stuff, and I always got a lonely lady, man, that got turned down by the band or something. Okay,
Yeah.
and the '90s and the '80s were the last true years to be that rock star and that over the top, do whatever you want. Now you got to just be so good and not mind all your P's and Q's. You can't be a rock star anymore. You can't.
No.
Jim Morrison would be in jail these days.
Oh yeah, no. I seriously think that's why there's nothing new coming out of Ozzy's camp. Not the fact that he's gotten so much older and it's really starting to show on him. But Ozzy hasn't done anything new in quite a while. And
he just did one last year.
Was it last year? I thought it was 2019. I thought it was 2019.
No, maybe it was 2019. But he's kind of
Black Sabbath, wasn't it?
No, 13, it was the one. He's got one. It's called From Hell or something, and he's got like Post Malone on it and shit. And
okay.
Yeah.
It's like I heard it. It's what? It's like they got all these guys that really don't understand what Ozzy's about, and they're just trying to write hit songs for him. Like one song, he has a rapper in it?
Yes. And it's like he's just trying too hard to get to the the new fans. But you know what? Oh my God, dude, you got so many old fans. Don't worry about getting new fans. You're almost gone.
Yeah. There's plenty of money to pick out of the guys that have been your fans for a long time. There's plenty of money for that.
Yeah.
He'll do one more tour, I think.
Yeah, he is and Zakk Wylde is only his touring musician now. He doesn't even play on the albums, which amazes me because Zakk Wylde is like, I don't know, to me, he's like one of the greatest guitar players ever,
Yeah, and he gets Ozzy. You know what I mean?
Right.
He understands the way Ozzy's supposed to sound.
Yes.
And it almost sounds like Sharon is behind this.
I agree 100%. When he got busted cheating not that long ago, now he just had to give the reins right to her. Yes, I'll do whatever you want, and it's like I think that you're right, it's
doing the housekeeper. Got caught doing the housekeeper. How funny is that? That good old Ozzy.
Well, you know what? He's rock and roll, dude. He snorted a line of ants one time. Okay,
he snorted piss. He pissed on the pool, and he got down on his hands and knees and snorted it up. I mean,
he got banned from an entire state for pissing on the Alamo in a dress.
Yeah, in a dress.
He's Ozzy.
He's Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah,
all the way Ozzy Osbourne. Funny as hell.
I tell you what, I'm sure you were, Mike. You were probably a great Black Sabbath admirer.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure because
Ozzy ate the head off a live bat.
Yeah, and he also bit the head off a dove, and he's Mr. Rock and Roll. But now, were you influenced a lot by Geezer?
Oh hell yeah, dude. Geezer, his style is just so badass. I mean, he just attacks that bass. He just like hits it like, he doesn't play like all precise and all that. Right. He just like beats the crap out of it. And his style, he's got that bluesy, heavy blues, and it just works great with metal. And
it does.
And he's got some riffs. I stole so many riffs from him, dude. I should be paying him royalties, man.
Yeah, right. I don't think he needs it, by the way.
He doesn't need it. He's fine. He's fine. Yeah. So I take it that Black Sabbath was one of your influences growing up and getting into the music business. Name a couple other bands that influenced you on your way up.
Oh yeah, well, I started out taking lessons at age 14, and my first goal was to learn every Kiss song that was out at that time. Because
Damn it.
I was 14 and I was like, oh wow, Kiss, Gene Simmons, look, he's like a superhero. So I did that. I used to put the album on, and I had a microphone, and I would put on Kiss Alive too, and I would try to act like Gene with the moves and play. But it was a great training ground because his bass lines weren't complex, but they were very tasteful, and they taught you how to really play like a bass player's bass player. And then I heard Geezer and Steve Harris, and then I really started to learn what these guys were doing, and I really started to develop a style. And I also was really influenced by Geddy Lee of Rush. Incredible bass player. And then I started listening to Manowar, and Joey DeMeo, the bass player, would play an 8-string bass, and it's kind of like a 12-string guitar is set up. It has, the string and then a really high octave string. So when I would play 2 notes at one time, and it was like this big sound. So I play 4-string and 8-string now, and and I think later in life. Now let's go to the 2000s. I started listening to Richie Blackmore's project with his wife, Blackmore's Night, and it was like this folk medieval kind of music. But I really loved just like the guitar parts. So I would try to learn the guitar parts on the bass, and that that gave me like another kind of avenue to explore with the bass. And so basically I put all those things together over all these years, and then you have my style.
That's pretty cool. I love that it all started with Kiss, because for me, mine was Ace Frehley. Okay. I thought that he was a true spaceman. He was, the coolest thing in the world. And just like you said with Gene, he wasn't the greatest guitar player in the world, but he played stuff that you could play, and learned to play quickly, and so awesome.
Yeah, it was, I totally agree. And Ace's leads, you could just about like sing them. And it's not like many guitar players you hear today where they're just trying to play as fast as they can. Right. And everything's just blowing past you, But Ace is so tasty, and it was a song within a song.
And it was, and everybody that you mentioned are people that I listen to too. Iron Maiden, I was into and not into at a younger age because I was a huge Judas Priest fan, and it was almost like you couldn't like Iron Maiden at the time,
Right.
But Steve Harris, great bass player and an amazing songwriter. I mean, holy shit! Like the songs he wrote, and like for Geddy Lee, with the man lacked in the looks department, he sure as hell made up in his fucking playing, man. I mean, he looked like a Salem witch trial or something, but wow, his voice too, though. His freaking voice was like just captured you,
and he could sing and play and write
and do keyboards all at the same time. I mean, I was amazed. I sat there in awe when I saw Rush in concert. In awe, he's standing behind his keyboard, and he's got his bass guitar strapped to him, and he's ready to rock and roll. And he's up there, and they're jamming up, and he's on the keyboards, and he's jamming it out, and they're just up there, and and he's up there fucking pounding away on the fucking drum. I'm going, these guys are fucking phenomenal. Yeah. These guys are fucking multi-talented, and you know what? They fucking know it. When they're up there on stage, man, they are true showmen, and there's no mistakes. The cleanest stage I ever saw was a Rush concert. I mean, I've seen some concerts, but Rush was just like, and they stand like they're like 25 feet apart.
Yeah.
Talking about clean, I know what you mean. I saw the Black Crows once. There were so many people on the stage and so much shit going on the fucking stage. Incense burners, candles melting. It was like you couldn't even pay attention to the fucking show, but it was a cool vibe, you know.
Yeah.
You see, I went from liking
That's the way Alice Cooper was too, pretty clustered.
Alice Cooper was the king.
Incredible.
He does not get enough credit. Like Ozzy gets all this credit, and I'm not saying Ozzy, you know, who's better, you know, but Alice Cooper sold just as many albums, if not more, than Black Sabbath did in the 70s, you know, and people forget that. And, you know, when he was in the band, Alice Cooper, he was great. And even on his own, when he got to, later on with Bob Ezrin and that, and changed his whole style, he was still impeccable. I mean, still a great musician and a wonderful singer. He needs to be the king.
he's got a blonde chick now playing the lead for him.
Yeah,
she's good too, man.
She's real good.
Yeah, she's hot to mention.
Yeah.
To have both the talent and being hot, that's something to watch on stage. Alice Cooper's going to be in St. Louis in August.
Great show.
Casey birthday party. I'll give Casey a plug only because they're who they are. But
San Manuel Casino.
All right, let's stop giving plugs for everybody. Anyways, speaking of when I was talking about Iron Maiden and Judas Priest, I heard a rumor that next year they're going on tour together. That would be great if it's true.
Hey, you got to look at it. The positive side of that is we've already gone through 6 months of this year.
Yeah.
It's happening.
A Priest Maiden tour would be like the greatest thing on earth. Now, did any of you guys see the last time they toured together on this Screaming for Vengeance tour?
I did. I wish I would have.
I wish I would have been able to see that.
It was just, forget it. Incredible. But their Priest was headlining, but now it would be Maiden headlining. I think.
Oh, definitely is Maiden headlining, and that's funny how the tides really turn. And the reason being is, you know, Maiden never really stopped. They had a couple albums with a different singer, which nobody remembers. But when Bruce Dickinson came back in the late 90s or whenever he came back, they never stopped. They never stopped putting records out. They never stopped putting tours out. They just kept coming and coming and coming and coming. You know, I seen them a few years ago, and I paid almost $200 to see him, $300 to see him. You know, when in the 80s you could see him for $18 or something like that.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy.
But
they earned it. They earned it though. You know, and
Absolutely.
they probably went through so many years of the record companies ripping them off. Now all they got to do is tour. It doesn't matter if the record sells or not. You know, it doesn't matter. You know,
I saw
cool. Grand Funk Railroad comes back and does a concert tour.
Mark Farner is a Christian now. He doesn't do that shit.
That was a 3-man band, and they had a big sound, man.
But now they got Bruce Kulick, former Kiss guitar player. So.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Hey, you know, talent is as talent does. You know.
Now, have you ever in any festival you played in, or any show you played in, or even anybody you met, ever been like awestruck or fanboyed ever? Have you ever like
I'm not worthy.
Yeah.
I had the unique honor in 2003. Symphony X was playing in the same night in Cleveland, and a venue right across the road, Ronnie Dio was playing. And one of the guys on our crew used to work for Ronnie, so he said, after we play, we'll go see Ronnie. And Dio is, God to everybody. So obviously you don't know what to expect, so the show ends, we go backstage, and immediately this guy didn't know us from Adam. He gave us all a big hug. He offered us all the food he had, and he was just so gracious and so nice that it was literally overwhelming. And and you could tell he wanted to talk to us. And he talked to us so long, he had to do a meet and greet after. But and his manager was like, "Hey, Ronnie, we got to go." But he wanted to talk to us, and he talked to us for about an hour. It was
that's awesome.
I'll never forget it. What a wonderful human being, and I was just awestruck.
And he's actually he's an intellectual. He's not he was not a dumb human being. He was very deep, very I'll tell you what, I've met a lot of people, working in radio and whatever. And the one person that really, Ace Frehley, I couldn't even talk. I was like, I really, he probably thought that there was something wrong with me. But a person that I met that like changed my perspective on him is when I met Striper's Michael Sweet. And just a nice guy, right down to earth. Looks in your eye when he talks to you and tells really great stories. And I didn't expect that when I met him, and I was like, oh my God, this was really cool. I felt like I was on his level and that he wasn't above me. And that's so important that not a lot of rock stars can do that, man. They get that ego,
They get the ego, they get the chip on their shoulder,
right?
And you could tell right away when you meet some of these guys that they're talking to you, but they're looking past you. You know what I mean?
Right.
And some of the guys, some bands that we might have toured with, right after the show, they're gone.
Right.
And the crowd is there's a line of people waiting to get an autograph, and they just come out of the venue, boom, right to the bus, bye.
Right.
And I have a problem with that because, the reason you're there is because those people in that line put you there.
Right.
Yeah.
So
but it would make your autograph more valuable.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay, I'll concede that.
If that's the case, then don't ever tour with Axl Rose, because that man, I met him once, and I don't even think he knew I was there.
Yeah.
I really
know this.
Yeah, I don't think he knew I was there.
I unfortunately had the displeasure of seeing Axl Rose in concert here in St. Louis. And that was the night of the big riot.
Showed up for that one.
Oh, yeah, he showed up and he jumped off the stage and tackled somebody, and there was a riot. And as far as I'm concerned, YouTube owes me a free concert. They owe me a free concert because I paid a lot of money for that show. And that was a heartbreaker there. I said, I'm out of here. Fuck this. And they came to St. Louis just before the pandemic hit. And I didn't go. I'm not going to go to that.
Yeah, but they came to St. Louis with a binding contract. I mean, it was a strict binding contract.
Yeah, it was
on the city's end, and they had to get their own insurance and all kind of shit. So, they didn't just get away scot-free with that, and they shouldn't have. This is the next question. Do you think it's okay for a band to incite a riot or like go storm the Capitol or whatever, or do you think that's not rock and roll and metal shouldn't have a place in telling people what to do?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of these rock stars and people in Hollywood, when they get into the business, and so many people look up to them and love them, I don't think it's their place to tell people what to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
A band should just play music, man.
Sure,
Sure.
Right. And I don't even mean a political song because, Rage Against the Machine has great songs and political stuff, fine. But when you go on the stage and pretty much tell people you're stupid if you don't do this, that's where I draw the line.
I agree 100%, man. You know what I mean? I listen to heavy metal to escape life.
Right.
And I like horror movies to escape life.
Right.
Right.
Because
so does Rob Zombie, man. That's
he's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, Mike. Let me ask you, Mike, real quick. What was your favorite venue to play in, bro? What is a good heavy metal venue that you liked playing in?
Well, immediately what comes to my mind, in Switzerland, there's a venue called Z7, and it's in Switzerland, and they just treat the bands amazing, just from the second you walk in to when you leave. So you walk in, it's a beautiful stage, it's a beautiful venue. When you walk in, they have catering all day long, breakfast, lunch, dinner, delicious. The sound check is good, solid. They have washers, dryers, whatever you need. You just feel totally comfortable. If you're on a tour bus driving hours and hours, you're exhausted, your clothes smell, and it's almost like going to a hotel and just relaxing. Beautiful shower area, great showers. Everything is just top notch. If ever, too many of these venues, they don't really have that stuff. So it's really a pleasure when you go to a place and they really take care of a band,
Yeah.
So, and that's
that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense because you got to have some relaxation right before you go out there. You got to have food before you go out there. And if that's all provided for you, great. That makes your performance easier, at least.
And you'll sound great because you're relaxed. You ate. You had a nice shower. You're gonna sound great. There's no.
You take your time. You can get tuned right. You're all set, and everybody gets on the same page. And then you go out on the stage and you just fucking kick ass.
Right.
Yeah.
And then if you get to like Red Hot Chili Pepper status, you can bring masseuse with you, and they had a dentist, I think, with them.
And
I mean, whatever.
Spiritual guidance guy. Spiritual guidance.
And it's funny you guys mentioned that. In 2007,
you drop some acid and you end up playing a snake.
Yeah, you think it's a snake, right?
Yeah.
We in 2007 we did a European tour. We opened up for Dream Theater. Now, Dream Theater at that time was playing like arenas over there in Europe, and they had, their tour. They had a catering tour bus that would follow the band. So every day, their catering tour bus would get to the venue, have breakfast, lunch, and dinner for everybody. It'd be a different food every night. It was amazing. They had masseuses too, and
the roadies, all the roadies too.
Yeah, and it was if you're a band that does well,
that's pretty good. Yeah, I heard they have
the roadies. The roadies work so hard, dude.
Yeah,
they really do.
Yeah, I used to do like local roadie and for like the local arena here, and only so I could meet people, and that was hard even. But
they've
the real,
been out of work. They've been
the
out of
real
work.
roadies.
Yeah.
Oh, sure, everybody. The whole touring industry shut down with the COVID thing. That's what people don't realize. You're not just putting the band members out of work. You're putting the crew out of work. You're putting security for each venue out of work. You're putting multiple thousands of people, if not a lot more, out of work. And
it almost seems intentional.
You could say what you want with that. But I agree, but we as people of the United States didn't stop it. if we disagreed with what's going on. We didn't, because you're afraid to make your voice heard in
But
some
you
aspects.
you didn't have a say so in the matter.
No, you didn't, and that's because it was a global plan. I said plandemic. Hear that? Pandemic. And all nations were involved in it. So how can one country not do it? And it was a tough game. It was tough.
Yeah.
I was so against masks, and I still am. My state right now is 70%. I live in New York. 70% vaccinated, so we don't have to wear the masks anymore, which I think is great. But the one thing that I thought was great during our pandemic, that the governor of New York decided that we had enough bullshit, and he legalized marijuana. So that was kind of cool.
Right.
Yeah, it was kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's legal in New Jersey now, isn't it? Legal in New Jersey now?
Yeah, I live in New Jersey, and it's legal here. So yeah, I mean,
so you do a concert.
Yeah, but now there's finally the clubs are starting up again here in Jersey.
That's good.
Yeah.
So there's a club here where I always used to go. It's called Dingbats, and there was a band play, and I called them up. I said, "Listen, if I come there, you're not going to make me wear a mask, are you?" And they're like, no. So I said, "All right, I'm coming there. I'm not bringing no mask, man."
Right.
So it felt good. I went in there, and like there were people coming in with masks, but once they saw everybody had no mask, they took it right off, dude.
Right.
Well, there's still people here that wear masks.
By now, if you've been vaccinated, it's nobody's business, and everybody can. And if you didn't want to get a vaccination, that's on you. And everybody else can just demask. Let's forget about all that shit.
Amen.
You had your chance to get your shot. If you didn't, too bad.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I didn't get it, and I'll be first to admit it. And I'm never going to get it unless there's some stupid law made to get it. I mean, I won't.
I got sick for 2 days after the second.
Oh, I know. Well, I look at it like the women look at the abortion thing. My body, my choice.
Amen.
I look at the vaccination the same way. My body, my choice.
Amen.
So, right. And if the 4 of us here, 2 of us are maybe vaccinated, 2 of us aren't. That's fine. None of us are going to get it then, or the ones that are not vaccinated are the only ones and that's our choice. That's our choice.
That's right.
So I think all that was nonsense. I think the whole mask thing was a control effort.
100%. 100%.
They wanted. I really believe they wanted to see how far they could take the American people.
Yeah,
I really do. I think that they wanted to see how far they could actually go.
Yeah,
and they've been going a long way for the last 4 years, and they said, well, let's give this a try here. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. And, I was a part of the military for many years, and there's a lot of things out there that people don't know about that go on. The things that we've done as a nation that we shouldn't be doing. We justify it by some nonsense bullshit when the people that are involved in it know it's not the truth. I mean, wars and everything, they don't need to happen.
Right.
That shit's over. So as far as I'm concerned, you can take off your damn masks and, too bad, so sad. See you.
Yeah, I wanted to.
If you get sick, you get sick.
My wife wouldn't let me do this. I wanted to go now that the masks are coming off. I want to take a spray bottle with water, and people that are still wearing masks, spray them.
If someone's not vaccinated and gets the COVID around me, it wasn't because I gave it to him. That's for goddamn sure. See, so
Listen. We all know what this was. We all know what the government's, it was just what a weird coincidence that every government around the world was locking everybody down, transferring wealth from the small mom and pop businesses to big business by shutting everybody down. We're not stupid.
Oh my God. Amazon alone and Walmart, Amazon and Walmart made more money during the pandemic than ever.
And that's who runs our government. That's who runs the government.
Yeah.
Are those big companies.
Or does the government actually secretly control those big companies?
Yeah.
No, Yeah, but it's a vice versa thing, because if they control the businesses, then the businesses sure the fuck do control the government.
I think
all their money comes from.
The media is the problem. The media brainwash everybody to live a certain way. Okay. And the people that actually don't just listen to what they're told and read themselves are like, what the fuck's going on? How are you so stupid? I mean, I don't get it. Just because CNN says something doesn't mean that's the truth.
Right. Exactly. And I feel so bad. I feel so bad for some people because they're really terrified. And the media did this to them.
Yeah.
And they're afraid to see their families, and you can't talk to them. You can't talk any sense into them. They're just scared to death.
Well, they know the truth, and there's no getting around it.
Right. Well, I was showing people video in the beginning of the pandemic that I found on, I don't know, YouTube or something, of the press conference with President Trump. Everybody's got their masks on. As soon as the press conference was over, everybody's got no mask on. And it's like, whoa. As soon as the camera goes off, it's okay. And the other thing that bothered me about the whole thing is here in Buffalo, New York, in New York, we had a curfew. You don't get the COVID after 10 o'clock?
Apparently not.
I mean, it's like those are the things that didn't make sense to me, and you're right. It was the small businesses that hurt. The bars are definitely got fucking killed. Killed.
The bars, the small businesses, even the big venues got hurt.
Sure.
The only people who didn't get hurt were the billionaires, Jeff Bezos and all these guys, and Uncle Wally and all them guys. They made all that freaking money, and we all know where that money's going. We're not stupid. Right. We're not stupid. We know what's happening, and I hate to say it, and people say, "Oh, you're full of shit." Well, I got, that's pretty much without the and the riots in the street, and this is the way the Soviets did it in the very beginning.
Well, the way I look at it is, if the people you talk to have that thinking, then the people that were hired to do the propaganda did their fucking job awesome. Like people like Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo, and I watch them sometimes, and I'm like, oh my God, this is like a HBO drama. It's not even the news anymore, and it's all about this and that and this, and it's. I feel there's more race in the world now than there was back in the 90s. Like race relations are worse now. I think I don't want it to be that way. I want to be, everybody rocking together and everybody.
We were on a roll, man. This country was on the right way. We were in 2000, even after 9/11. This country was headed in the right direction for the longest time.
Yeah.
And race relations were never better.
Right. But we did it on our own then. We did it on our own.
Yeah. We did it on our own. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, one kid gets blown away because he punched a cop in the face and he got shot. The lessons they need to learn. I mean, sure, okay, there's the whole system does need to be revamped.
No, it does need to be revamped. It does. It doesn't need to be abolished. The police department doesn't need to be abolished.
What I'm saying is the courts can no longer cater to the poor. Whether you're white, black, Hispanic, if you're poor, you don't stand a chance in our court system.
Yeah. No, you're right.
If you don't have millions of dollars, you can't protect yourself. And that's what's wrong with our system. A lot of these guys are getting locked up because they didn't have a decent fucking lawyer. They had a public defender that didn't give a fuck and just wanted to get another fucking case under his belt.
That all depends on your crime now, because if it's a Me Too crime, Look at Harvey Weinstein. He had the best lawyers money could buy. He's in jail for 25 years. Okay.
He's dead before he even
Yeah.
thinks about it now.
There's a
But
difference with it.
Depends on
And
what
here-
you're doing. Okay, so you got you got busted selling a couple of grams of crack on the street corner. Okay, you're black. You don't stand a fucking chance, man. You're gonna go to the system. There's no question.
You're gonna. But that's the whole point of the system was, you know, so that we didn't send innocent people to prison. You know, so that there was, you know,
get back to that because a lot of people
you were innocent. You had to prove them guilty. They weren't. They're innocent right now. You know, they're supposed to be innocent. But I hear what you're saying, but there's statistically too, you know, crimes happen because of poverty. Okay, if we all had the same economic resources, then, or not the same, but more economic, like bringing work back to America, we wouldn't have as much crime because there would be jobs. People wouldn't need to rely on the system for money. You know, people wouldn't need to steal.
Crime was on a decline until 2018. Crime was on a decline until 2018. Yeah. And that's about when they figured out that they weren't going to nail
the lowest unemployment of any color ever in the history of the United States. And people were happier when people can put their own food on the table. They're not going to steal. When people can, you know, put their own TV up on their wall, they might not sell that crack. You know, I mean, it's economics. It's not about color, and it's not about anything else. It's about economics, and that's what proves this country is. And I don't believe in the whole, you know, socialist part of it. The rich should not give the poor, you know, the money. But the problem is people don't realize. Let's raise minimum wage to $16 an hour. Now, a quart of milk's going up to $12, and this and that. You're not getting any better.
It's all inflationary.
Right.
But when you think about it, Mike, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you're going to raise the minimum wage that high, you know, so let's say if you go to a fast food place, you know what? Instead of hiring people, they're going to have a kiosk.
Right.
Yeah, and it's going to pop out in a little paper wrapper and dump out in your lap. It won't be at the counter.
Right.
You go at the kiosk, you put your money in, you put your 666 card in, and if you don't have that card, you can't buy food.
Yeah.
You know, because they don't take cash no more, because they're going to stop taking cash. That's the next step. They're going to stop taking cash. Greenbacks are going to go away.
Well, that's why I think they're trying to normalize cryptocurrency, when in the beginning they were against cryptocurrency because you could buy stuff on the deep web. Okay. Yeah. Now they're trading on the stock market. Okay. That should be a eye opener a little bit, you know. Is that going to be
money? That's going to be the global money. That's going to be the upcoming global money. That money is going to be circulated around the world, and that is going to be everybody is going to make the same kind of Bitcoin. And that's what it's going to be all about. And you know, unfortunately, I won't be here for it. Kind of glad about that.
Well, we got way off subject here. I like that. I did.
We got to talking, didn't we? That was all. You know, we warned you, Mike. We warned you. You've been on our show before, haven't you? Yeah.
You guys are real. What you talk about is real, and that's what's most important. You don't ask me my favorite color. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you know, we like to ask a few of those stupid questions. We do.
Sure.
You know, because there's people out there that are never heard of you, maybe, whatever. You know. So, but we don't write questions, and we don't do tons of research because we let it all come out, you know, and during the conversation. I've been in radio a long time, and it's always, get this, get that. Why can't you just talk to somebody? You know, I mean,
just have a conversation.
Yeah.
It's much more interesting when you just have a nice conversation.
Sure. Absolutely. You know, I can't imagine like having a conversation with bringing George Carlin back from the past and bringing him today, and just let him see what's going on, and just have a talk. I don't even care if the whole world sees it. I want to hear what he says. You know,
man.
You know, and I think that would be so great.
That'd be quite a feat to bring George Carlin back.
But he was probably the smartest guy ever, because everything he said 20 years ago is true now. It's true. I mean, he was right on. They thought he was crazy old Carlin, but he was smart Carlin, man. He knew what he was talking.
Name a TV show that would never go right now.
Well, my first thing that comes to my head is Archie Bunker.
Yeah, All in the Family.
All in the Family. All in the Family. That would never be aired today.
Or sad to say, the Dukes of Hazzard.
The Dukes of Hazzard would have never shown today. Would have never made it.
Yeah.
That Confederate flag would never. The Jeffersons, the Jeffersons would never made it.
I don't know. They might have made it, but there's some other shows that really wouldn't have made it. I mean, there were some shows that were homophobic to a whole degree, racist to a whole degree. I mean, there were some shows back then that were, wow. I'm surprised they don't take them out of circulation now.
I Dream of Jeannie would have never made it today because it's an all-white cast. They were all white. Did you notice back in the day? Everybody was white, man. Today, these shows would never make it today. They've got to be blended. All shows must be blended.
I don't have a problem with that. I mean,
neither do I.
As long as it's equality and the whole thing, we're not pushing the agenda of a mixed thing, whatever. I don't think that there should be the black character this, the white character that.
Yeah.
They should just be people on a show. Stop pushing propaganda, though.
Yeah.
That's the whole different story. There's no problem with having different ethnic groups on the same show because it works. But it used to be like George Lopez could have his own show and he could make fun of Latinos because he was Latino.
Yeah.
But now you can't even do that no more. Everybody's afraid. Everybody's a sissy now, All
right. I gotta ask you, man. When you were growing up, Mike, what was your favorite TV show? When you were a kid, say you're 8 years old, who was your TV hero, bud?
8. Let's see. If I'm 8 years old, let's see. I was born in '66. So what does that make? 66. I think
76.
In the '70s. I mean, I loved Happy Days, man.
Happy Days. Yeah. Nice.
Who didn't love Happy Days?
Oh yeah, Happy Days was cool. Happy Days was a cool show.
Yeah.
My favorite show was fucking Dallas.
Besides music, what was your most hated job you've ever had?
Oh, let's see. It was probably my first job. When I was 18, I worked in a warehouse. And, you're 18, you're stupid,
right.
And it's just like, I hated to go to work, and it seems like any job you had, your boss was just an asshole. You know what I mean? And he's just
they're still assholes, man. They're still assholes.
And they just treat you like garbage,
Right.
So that I think was the main reason I hated work, But I'm luckily for music, I enjoy it now. How about you guys? Do you ever have any jobs that just can't stop?
I had a job. It was my first job too. I worked at a place called Burger King, and I always got stuck on the fryer. And the dude knew I had an acne problem, so I was working on the fryer all the time. So one night I fucking accidentally got burnt on my arm. I got some oil on my arm and it burnt the piss out of me. I said, motherfucker, I was pissed. I told you to roll them fucking sleeves down. And I said, and then I turned around after that. I said, fuck you. And I walked out the back door and I never went back. I said, mail me my check, motherfucker. I'm out of here.
You sure that was Burger King? I don't think they.
I
don't think Burger King's that old.
All my jobs. I liked all my jobs except for one. I was a cook's helper on an oil rig in Louisiana in '73, and that sucked being a cook's helper, man. I fucking hated that.
Long hours.
Yeah, my worst experience was my last job. I was the director of housekeeping for a hospital, and it was the most horrible job ever. I've been in that field for like 20 years and I just couldn't handle it anymore, so I gave up a great amount of money to save my sanity, and now I work at my brother and small family restaurant. I don't make as much money, but I am so much happier, so much more enjoying life.
Good.
And it's like I spent probably about in 20 years. My kids are like 25, probably about 2 years of their life because I was always working.
Yeah.
And now I got grandkids and that, and I don't give a shit. I'll make it work somehow. I'm not, I'm doing fine, but it's like I relieve so much stress, and that's, yeah, it sucks. Work sucks. I'll admit it does, but that's the difference with like having a job or a career. Like sometimes a career is worse than just having a job. Everybody's like, get a career. No, because then you're like married to that career.
Yeah.
Mike, you were just talking about that, man. You were just talking about that where you sat for a minute and said, maybe I ought to just say, you know what, fuck it for now.
With music, there's not a lot of money in it. You know what I mean? Like when you play a show, the fans are seeing a big production, huge light show, and it looks huge, but there's not a lot of money in it. You know what I mean? And so you got to love it, which I do. You just got to love it. And you just got to accept the fact that you're going to have to make sacrifices to do it. But so far I've gotten by. You know what I mean?
Right.
Doing good.
And that's good. I think people, like I always say, it's all economic based. You don't need more money than you need. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody needs money and everybody needs to live comfortably and good, but you don't need Jeff Bezos money. You don't,
right.
Because that doesn't bring you happiness. The harder I worked at my career, the less I knew of my family. The less I knew of my family. Yeah. I was never happy. I was a miserable piece of shit. And I had to stop smoking weed. So I was really pissed.
The more you spend, it seems,
Now he can flip burgers all day and not worry about it.
I don't care.
He can get smoked dope on the line,
like
for Christ's
people
sake.
that were in my career, I was a building engineer. I was a lot of different things, and they're like, you don't feel like less of this. I'm like, dude, why? I could go back to that anytime I want.
That where they had to tell me when and where I can smoke cigarettes and shit. I hated those kind of jobs, man.
Well, that's the thing now. Is now I if I'm cooking and I don't really have to order or whatever, I can go outside, take a break, whatever. It's my family's place. I don't have to worry about it, And
right.
That's a great thing. My kids work there with me part-time. It's like it's awesome. All four of my kids work there at one point or the other.
That's
so that's
a neat thing, man.
Too. Yeah.
It's that. Okay, folks out there listening. Okay, this is a perfect example of what small businesses are. They're family. They're all family, and they just put all those small businesses out of work.
Sure.
All those families got put out of work. No wonder they had to deal out the money. All they had to do was fucking open up again and say, okay, everybody go back to fucking work. Let's get busy.
Well,
wear your mask if you want to.
They're having a hard time finding workers now because they're getting so much subsidies, or what do they call them? That they don't have to go back to work. If they go back to work, they make less.
But they're getting rid of that now.
And the American people ain't stupid. I mean, they're gonna lay in bed and take a vacation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, not only that, I mean, a lot of the kids are not back in school, so moms or dads have to stay home and take care of the kids.
It's rough.
It is rough, and I don't think luckily my finances never changed because my wife's a nurse and she had to work during the whole thing.
Right.
And our restaurant never closed. We closed for people to be able to eat in, but our DoorDash and our food, Uber Eats and all that stuff was off the chain. We made more money than during the COVID and the first part when it first happened,
Wow.
and then it weaned down a little bit, but we never really had to lose our jobs, and that was good.
Let me ask you this, Mike, and I don't want, if you don't want to answer this, you don't have to.
Yeah.
But since your band is your business, did you get PPP, my friend?
No, the band did not. The band did not. what I applied for, I applied for unemployment, which, before they didn't really, you really couldn't get unemployment if you were I guess, a gig worker, we'll say, but now they would let you. So I was able to collect unemployment.
Oh, that's
Okay.
So,
Good
so
thing. That's
this was
good
something.
thing.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, at least it was something,
Yeah. And you should have. You should get it even when there's not a pandemic, because I'm sure you still pay taxes of some sort.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Oh yeah, you got to
So-
pay taxes.
A
yeah,
musician, as a musician, a touring musician, we're at the mercy of the venues, or the country or the state. If they want to shut down, there's nothing we can do about it. If they want to shut down the venue, so we really had nothing, no say. So we really did. We needed money.
right.
Yeah.
And it makes absolute sense. I mean, there was people that I don't even think had a job getting it, and it's like, how are they getting it? And then where this money is coming from, or how we're ever going to replace it, is just baffles my mind, and how it doesn't bother anybody on the left that we fucking spent all this money. It's got to come somewhere. It's coming out of your pocket, my pocket. And they're gonna push us back down to poverty again. We're gonna be pretty soon, if they keep going on the right track, we'll be a poor country, and I don't know why they would want that. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Well, I mean, we'll be poor, us poor, but the government, the elites won't be poor.
No,
they'll be richer. They'll get richer from it. They've made money on the pandemic. And now, okay, let me ask you about this. Another change in our dynamic, I'll say our habitat, because that's what it is. It's in our habitat. Electric cars.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to the electric car. What are you thinking, man? What are you thinking?
It's just going to cost trillions and trillions of dollars to force electric cars on us. And what they don't realize, they want to get rid of fossil fuels. What are you going to make the batteries out of? You need oil for everything in your life almost. You know what I mean? Just about everything you do in your life, you need oil for. So I don't know what they're attempting to do. It's just mass stupidity.
It is. It's almost like we're just placating a certain group, just like the environmentalists and all those people.
They're screaming environmentalists, but what are they going to do with all those batteries? They're friggin' toxic.
Yeah.
Well, when you have a car accident and that battery gets fucking smashed, they got to get rid of it and put it somewhere. They're not going to just put that in a fucking junkyard and let it seep into the fucking water table, are they? I mean, you think about that. Where are they going to put it? And they take our nuclear waste from our nuclear plants and they put it in a cave somewhere, like in Colorado or something, don't they? In an underground cavern. And it's amazing that shit hasn't leaked into our water.
Yeah. All these windmills, you can't recycle all these giant windmills. They're just going to be windmill cemeteries.
They break down. What are you going to do with them when they break down permanently?
Yeah.
Sooner or later, they're not going to go forever.
Yeah, I know. It's so bananas that at there's points where I just have to turn off. I shut the TV off and I put on, Dracula or something. You know what I mean?
Put on a movie. Put on some music. Put on some music. Hopefully, that's what our listeners will do, is put on kgfrocks.com.
Well, see, they haven't developed yet. See, and you're in a good spot for that by the ocean and shit. But they can put in them newfangled fucking gyrators that float on the fucking water, and they just when the water goes up and down, these things are constantly moving. You don't even need fuel, and they're whipping fast. You don't need wind. You don't need nothing. These motherfuckers, the bob of the ocean keeps that thing spinning. It's gyro. Yeah, that'd be better than them fans any day. But that's too expensive. We're talking expensive there.
Yeah, it's all expensive.
It's just another way to fat Elon Musk's pocket. That's all.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
The new world leader, the dear leader. Anyways, Mike, we've talked your ear off, man, and we appreciate you coming on the show tonight, brother. Good to see you again, man. If you go on tour, let us know.
I will.
Okay. If you hit Buffalo, let us know. Guido, go see your show. I know he will. If you book St. Louis, come to St. Louis, man. I'll welcome you with open arms. I'll take you out to dinner.
That'd be nice, man. That'd be wonderful. And so we're planning on going out next year. So I'll let you guys know, and it would be great to hang with you guys in person.
Sure.
Oh, that would be awesome, man. So much fun. Well, listen, I'll let you go now, and I hope that you had as much fun as we did. Thanks a bunch again for coming on board, man. We appreciate you.
Awesome. You guys are awesome. Great to see you guys.
Great show. Thanks, Mike. Take
Bye
care of
now.
yourself.
Good luck. Good luck, buddy.
All the best to you. Godspeed.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow, what a great guy, man.
Yeah. Absolutely. Excellent.
Fucking A.
I'm glad he's gone because I had. Oh, okay. I'm good now.
Oh, he had to pitch him. Yeah, did you start?
Shit. You know what? That's why this is what I did. I threw all my drawers out, and I went and bought brown ones.
We need to get some female guests, brother. We need to get some female guests, like some porn stars.
Well, we'd be good luck to that. I hope
sadly, of the three of us, you're the only one that's ever been with a porn star.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing.
It is amazing. I mean, you're a pretty cool guy. I'm fucking sexy, and sloppy dick over here gets to fucking be in a porn movie.
Yeah.
Slutty
yeah.
That's your name.
Yeah. I don't get it. How did he get into it with a porn star and we didn't? We need to get our own porn star up in here.
We do. We'll get. Well, we got some people. We got a couple females in our roster.
Yeah, we might be able to dig up a porn star. I might be able to dig one up. Let's get Stormy Daniels.
Isn't she like 92?
No, she's not that old.
Why don't we get somebody that's like newer and needs the help?
Oh, okay. I'd love to talk to Jenna Jameson. Ask her what.
Dude, she's 40. She's my age. Okay.
Okay,
so
she's still
you
hot.
know all the agents and shit. You know all the agents and stuff.
I've sent him agent paperwork all the time. He doesn't read it.
I read it.
You don't read it. I sent him Alice Cooper's agent. He didn't do nothing.
How about X-rated AV stars or triple X or whatever?
The thing of it is I'll find you the stuff, but I'm only good with words spoken. I can't write shit because of the where and I hate sounding like a fucking uneducated buffoon.
All right. I promise
I'm good at that.
I promise you, I will look into it. I will definitely look into it this week, and because we're going to need some guests for July, and maybe I can find a porn star for us.
I will get you some agent numbers. I will do the research and find those numbers, and you do the contacting, because I can talk to you on the phone, on Skype, whatever, and my words come out. But then I start writing, a text or a message, and I sound like I never took a fucking grammar course in my entire life. I mean, I don't put periods in. I don't put. It's like
no commas.
I'm pretty good at that. I'm good at that. Yeah.
You're good. What making mistakes?
No, I can write that. I can write that shit out. I'm a finger pecker checker. I'm a chicken pecker.
He's a chicken pecker.
But I usually talk my message.
Name for him, ladies and gentlemen, chicken pecker.
The words are right, on the paper. After I talk, and it just translates it.
Rooster pecker.
But you got to put your commas and periods in the right place.
No, you have to, because that's what I stopped doing because of, being an avid texter, because everybody fucking texts me. All three of my daughters text me, my son texts me.
The thing to learn is no commas, just periods. So make
Right.
shorter sentences and speak in terms that you don't have to write these commas, because commas only putting the second section in front. So it's just reversing the sentence is all it's doing.
No.
So you just leave the comma out, write the sentence.
No, like for instance, you say Joe Biden, comma, was an asshole, comma.
No, that's already proper. That's already improper. It's Joe Biden, comma, is an asshole.
Okay, whatever. I'm saying is, but that's why you need commas to go, anything.
Well, here's the thing. Is like I don't text and shit bothers me. Like, what are you doing? Nothing. All right. Are you mad at me, or are you just really doing nothing? I mean, it's like,
right.
It sucks, and I rather talk to somebody, but then again, I hate people, so I don't like talking to people. It's weird.
My
like you guys.
My wife is always like this. What do you say? Comma. What do you say? Question mark. What do you say in period? So I have to teach her.
Well, in our language, she probably has a tough time with it because it's so retarded in some ways.
English is so screwed up. English is so hard to learn.
I mean, we've been on this subject before, but I don't know if I said it earlier, but Happy Father's Day to you two.
You too.
Thank you, and same to you.
Much obliged. It's I feel like, every day is like Father's Day in some way, because the moms really do take care of kids more. I mean, I can't deny that, man.
I was going to get out of Grey Poupon. I was going to get where do you like to go on vacation, until he said, dumb questions.
Yeah. I might have had to hang up on you for that one.
Yeah, we might have had to knock you out. Yeah, no question about that.
You might have got hung up on there, or is it hanged up? Or I don't know.
I had fun.
I don't really care. Like when I come on here and I talk and I say the wrong words, or I don't, say things the right way, because it doesn't really matter. Language nowadays doesn't matter. It's all mixed matched together. We have Spanish words that are English now. Like, why? They're still Spanish words. Why do we put them in the dictionary?
Burrito,
yeah, right. And it's like so confusing. Who cares? Who cares?
Had our word of the day yet, have we?
We haven't had our what?
The word of the day.
Oh, we should do it like Pee-wee's Playhouse, and we'll pick a word of the day in the beginning, and anytime someone says that word, the other two have to scream. Or if it's a guest, we all scream.
Okay.
Like when someone says, like, the word of the day is snake charmer. So I'll say, oh, that was a funny one. That was funny.
This double word game does not count spelling. All right. Now that's what this game is about.
Okay.
All right.
Never progresses with,
I got a word. The word wait.
Wait. So now anytime someone says the word wait, but that could be, W-A-I-T.
Yeah, it could be W-A-I-T.
So any version of the word
spelling
wait
is not in this. The spelling is not. Just give the meanings. Just give the two meanings. Spelling is not in this. Huh?
I just said that. It doesn't matter if it's W-A-I-T or W-E-I-G-H-T.
So one of us says the word weight, whether it's in a sentence about the weight of a pound, or what does a hen weigh, okay, compared to weight.
So there's three meanings.
Like the weight of my balls is 4 ounces, and damn, I had to wait a long time at the doctor's office.
So there's 3 meanings to the weight.
Yeah. Well, anytime you say them, the other two have to scream.
I mean, what's your weight?
Like,
yeah. Like wait here. Wait here, and What's the other way? Oh.
Ah!
Ah!
You can't just purposely do it because that defeats the whole game.
That's a break.
So,
Yeah, defeats the whole
so
game.
play the game right, or mute your
don't
mic
play
and
it.
yeah,
Now,
mute your
wait
mic
a
and go
minute,
stand
guys.
in the corner.
All
Ah,
right. All right.
All right.
But-
Now, if you could wait just to, sorry.
yeah, no, it's got to be, you know,
Got to be casual. It's got to be
right.
casual. So
because
how,
it's. Go ahead.
okay, is there any good movies coming out that we want to talk about? Anything coming out that's worth watching? How about the new Top Gun?
I can give two shits.
That
I'd
might
like
be
to
a-
watch that.
I'd like to see that in the theater.
Yeah.
Hey, Dodgers
I-
won tonight. Yeah.
Who cares? Nobody
Oh.
cares.
We're
We don't
talking
know.
about movies, unless
They
there's
got
a.
more fans. They got more fans in the stands of their away games than they do at home, man.
Because you
They got-
live in fucking
Go to New
California.
York. If they go to New York, they'll have more Dodger fans than they'll have Cubs and Mets.
You know why? Because New York people are a lot tougher. They might be liberal thinking, but they're tougher people.
Yeah.
They'll be have Dodger shit on at the games. They ain't gonna have the Mets.
Nobody cares, man.
It doesn't matter.
We don't care.
The Yankees played here in Buffalo because the Blue Jays are playing in Buffalo, and it sold out at like $300 to ticket and this and that. I'm like,
give me a fucking break.
and then like the other games are like $60 and shit. I'm like, are you kidding me? You know, because it was the Yankees game, they raised the price. You know.
Well, yeah, that game you'd rather watch on TV.
Absolutely. I would never pay that much to go to any sporting event. I don't give a crap. You know, I don't give a shit if Reggie Jackson came back to hit his last home run. Is he still alive? I don't know. If he's not, I apologize.
Reggie Jackson's still around. He's in his 70s though.
Okay. But I mean, it's that was the golden era of the Yankees, I think, was in the 50s and 60s. You know, a lot of people will claim it was in the 90s with that run of pennants they got in the 90s and 2000s. But they were larger than life stars in the 50s.
Dude,
you know,
dude, the Yankees were the perennial team.
You know, Joe DiMaggio and
Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris.
Right.
I mean, fucking Murderers Row. I mean, they fucking Yankees were the shit.
And it all started with a boy named Babe.
Yeah, Babe Ruth.
And that's where it started.
What pissed off the New York fans the most is when he got traded to the fucking Red Sox. They hated it after that.
Well,
it took a long time.
Any Red Sox Yankees team switch is hated by the other teams drastically.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I remember when Johnny Damon came to New York. Oh, Boston fans hated him. You know, when Roger Clemens came to New York. Oh, yeah. It frosted their balls, man. You know, it really did. And Massachusetts fans are tough fans, man. They're hardcore fans. I don't care if it's football, hockey,
baseball,
table tennis, whatever it is. They're pretty hardcore fans, man. You know, and they feel like that's a slap in their face. I think
they're the most rooted for team in the NHL. It's the Boston Bruins.
Yeah, and
Boston Bruins.
And so were the New England Patriots for last 20 some years.
Yeah,
you know,
well, that's got to end sooner or later. I mean, they can't.
Sure.
It used to make me sick. I know they're a great team and all.
Right.
But come on, man.
And the Boston Celtics, come on. Hey, come on. The Boston Celtics, you can't talk NBA basketball history without the Boston Celtics.
That's true.
As many titles they won. Boston's got, Massachusetts, like I said, they got some great teams, and the reason is because they got great fans, you know, and like here in New York, in my city, in Buffalo, they got hardcore fans. But up in the Jets and Giants, you better win some fucking games, or they won't come to the game. You know, it's like You know, they're not hardcore fans. At Bill's Stadium will sell out 3 losses in a row. You know, I mean,
not to mention, I mean, you know, you look at the difference. You know, in Buffalo, you expect it to be cold.
right?
Okay, but in New York, you'd think that they'd have enough money to buy a domed stadium.
Right.
You know,
I guess.
I mean, seriously.
Right.
If Atlanta has a dome stadium built by Mercedes-Benz, for crying out loud, what could New York build? I mean, you would think that they would build themselves a nice little fucking indoor stadium, you know, put it right next to the Madison Square Garden.
Well, that's what their plan is coming up, because they're trying to get I forgot which year, Olympics here.
Okay.
And in New York City. So if they do that, they would need a stadium. So now they're building a stadium really for that, but it's going to be dual purposed as the Jets stadium. And I'm not 100% sure, but I think it will have a dome, like a retractable one.
Retractable dome. Yeah.
I heard rumors that here in Buffalo, we're going to be getting a new stadium. But the problem with that is if we get that done, they're going to put it right where the stadium now is. We'll have to play somewhere else for like 2 years.
Oh, it's going to take 2 years to build it?
That they said up to 2 years. So,
well, you know, they built when they changed old Busch Stadium to new Busch Stadium here in St. Louis. Right. They left the old Busch Stadium up, and they already started to build the new stadium right next door to it, and they were building into it. And then when the season ended, they and they had it almost completely. It was like 2/3 of the way built, and then they imploded the old Busch Stadium, cleared out all the debris, and finished up the stadium, and they were done in one season. Didn't miss a fucking trick.
Well, the problem with it is the land that they own is not their land, so or is not that big rather. So they would need to build it on the same exact spot.
Right.
You know, or part of that spot. You know, they would need that spot because I think the Bills only have like 5, of their own parking lots, and the rest are fan and, you know, people that live in the area.
Motherfuckers.
Right.
They charge you, man, an arm and a leg to park. Mm-hmm. I know how that is. It costs you $40 to park your car.
What they do right there is they take all the rubble and shit and crunch it all up and reuse it and to build another stadium. That's how they work that shit, you know?
Yeah. Well, but they still got to get rid of
New York. Who cares? Whatever. What the problem is?
Yeah.
You know?
No, there would be no problem. That's just what would have to happen. It would just be, you know, like I would say maybe Cleveland, because that's closer to us.
It took us about 2 years to build the SoFi Stadium, but it's state of the art, and that's what they're going to want to have to do with the
New
Buffalo.
York,
Well, see, Buffalo would have to go play in either Pennsylvania or Ohio, because that's actually closer to us than New York City is.
Yeah.
So, you know, Cleveland's closer to us, I think. Not Cleveland, but Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, I think, is closer than.
Well, isn't there a university?
There is. There's a Bills or Bulls, UB Bulls, but the problem with that is it's not like a really secure like gate. You'd have to do some, you know, modifications on it. Like it's not. It's not like the Fiesta Bowl or whatever, you know, like one of those big stadiums. It's a big stadium, but it's not.
It's not pro ready.
Yeah, it's not pro ready. Like you know, like the University of Miami Stadium is pro ready. You know.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know where they would play, but you know, we need a new stadium. Our stadium was built in 1970, and it wasn't the best stadium then. You know.
Right.
It's actually a piece of shit. It really is. It's old, it's outdated, and it needs, in order for us to get any chance of getting a Super Bowl, we need a dome. You know, they've already done, you know, cold weather Super Bowls. They've done one in New York, and they've done one in Detroit, and they did one in Minneapolis. So they did 3. But all of them but one had a dome. That New York one, they played in an open air stadium.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
In the wintertime, man.
Yeah, it's cold.
Did you ever go to one of those ice hockey games they play in the stadiums?
Yeah,
My wife's home.
I haven't been there. But they did one here in St. Louis at Busch Stadium.
Yeah, the
And it
first
sold
or
out.
second one was here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Buffalo versus I think the Rangers or something,
Right.
and I did go, but I
Football
was so
season's coming up. Football
oh yeah,
season's coming up, man.
I was so far up I couldn't even fucking tell what was going on. I watched it
Right.
more on the big screen, the jumbotron, than I did live because they were just like little fucking people.
Yeah, it was so far away.
Yeah, but you get to do the wave and shit. And
Oh, it was a fun experience. It was a fun experience, absolutely. But it was like, if you didn't have good seats, it wasn't worth the money for me. I want to see it too. Like I used to go to the football games and get so fucked up drunk that I don't even remember the game. Why? Why fake and spend all that money to be so drunk and not remember the game?
I could do that at home on my
Right.
couch.
Right.
Yeah. And I have to drive, and I'm not driving in the blizzard and shit and the fucking snow, and
I can never afford to get drunk out there, man. It's $8 a cup.
Oh man, but
we
got
ours
are like
that's a long time ago.
Ours are like at least 15 at least. But yeah, we did it out in the parking lot beforehand. You were wasted. You was wasted before you even got to kickoff. I remember going on a bus with like 34 people and the bus leaving with 8 people. Yeah, because they were either in jail, in the hospital, or just really couldn't fucking find their way home. So I remember that one. This is how it happened. The concert. The game was supposed to start at 1:00. It was a Doug Flutie, and it was versus the Jets. Okay, the game they decide. So we get there at 8:00 in the morning. They decide at 9 or 10 that they're going to flex it to 7 p.m.
Oh no!
Okay, all right. So we went from drinking from 8 till 1 to drinking 8 till 7. Yeah. I slipped in my own vomit. I was puking by the side of the bus, and I'm like, oh, thank God that's done. And I took a step right in it. Yep, so icy condition. Somebody cut their fucking leg on somebody's grill like 15 minutes while we were there. They went to the hospital. It was just the biggest fucking party. And you want to talk about snow? It was snowing, but it was snowing in and out of that bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Cocaine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Especially after the game got changed from 1 to 7, there were some deliveries made.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Oh yeah. And there was a high premium on that motherfucker. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Somebody made some money on that.
Yeah. But it's so funny. In my 20s and that, I would go to all these football games and never remember any of the plays. I'd have to watch them the next day on the sports show.
Yeah. Catch the replays.
Oh, yeah. And it's like, why? Why did I do this? I mean, let's watch a game. So then I went to one totally sober, and I was fucking bored out of my mind.
Yeah.
All right. Because it was when the Bills were sucking, so all the shit was happening all at the other end most of the time. And then when it was happening at my end, it was the other team. So that wasn't too cool. So I think I got to be in the middle somewhere. I think I got to be, buzzed or more.
Yeah, your team has to be a winner.
Right.
I mean, I went to see the Cardinals play their last season here in St. Louis before they went to Phoenix, and it was cold. It was just downright just bitter cold, and it was an outdoor stadium, and it wasn't snowing. I wish it had been snowing. It was so cold. Yeah. And the last game they played the Eagles, and they couldn't even beat the fucking Eagles, and it was so bad. And it was the last season, and Bidwell had the balls to stand up and wave at everybody. We want to thank Bill Bidwell for a great season. Thanks a lot, man. Everybody's going, boo, fuck you, get the fuck out of here. Go ahead, take the team and shove it up their ass. They suck. It was great.
Well, that's what we thought we were going to have here.
Out of the flask. getting drunk. Yeah,
that's what we thought we were going to have here when Ralph Wilson died. All these teams were talking about buying it and moving, and then Terry Pagula bought it. And here's the thing. We're starting to do good now. Why? Because he actually paid some fucking money to people instead of being a stingy fucking miser. And when you pay the people, you get the people. And then when you get the right people, other good people will play for you for less money because you got the other good people. Because the whole thing is to put a ring on your finger.
Well, you're out there in L.A., Sneezecab. So San Diego is, now the L.A. Chargers. And I still think their uniform colors are gayish, but that's just me. And then you've got the LA Rams, which, I'm not going to say you stole the Rams from St. Louis because they were never a St. Louis team anyway.
And they were in LA first, by the way.
They were in LA first. So, actually they were in Chicago first.
Yes, that's true.
Chicago Rams. And then they went to St. Louis and they were the St. Louis Rams. And then they went to LA. And it went from L.A. back to St. Louis and now back to L.A. again. But they've had several.
Right. I forgot they were at St. Louis first. I forgot that. That's right. And then they came back to Marshall Faulk years. And
so actually, they stole them away twice.
Yeah.
And they can have them. They sucked both times. Well, they went to the Super Bowl. They won the Super Bowl. And then they lost the Super Bowl on 9/11, because of 9/11, and that was a giveaway to the Patriots.
That was the start of the dynasty.
The start of the Patriots dynasty, and then they sucked after that, and the money dried up, and they said, "Build me a new stadium, or we're leaving." And they said, "Okay, we'll build a new stadium." And they had all the plans all decked out, and he said, "See ya, we're out of here."
Yeah, it's a business. It's all about money.
It's all about the dollar.
Look at what they did in Baltimore. The Colts, they fucking snuck out of Baltimore. They moved in the middle of the night
and just left. Didn't tell anybody they were
going.
Didn't
tell anybody. And then a reporter caught on to it and started breaking the news. But they were just leaving without saying a word to anybody. And Baltimore and the Colts were synonymous back then. That was Johnny Unitas. That was,
the history was just amazing.
Right. So, they lost that team and now they got the Ravens, but they still, some hardcore Baltimore fans are still, Unitas and the Colts, I mean, it's just weird how stuff like that happens. And actually Baltimore's team is Cleveland's old team. It's,
and then Cleveland got the franchise.
Right, the expansion team.
The expansion team, and they called them the Browns, and so they didn't miss a skip, a beat. They've always were great fans. I never did understand why they left Cleveland. I never did understand.
More money.
I guess it was all dollars.
It's all business, man. And it's almost like, can you blame these guys? They bought.
Why not? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Why not?
Move anytime you want. Business. If you can make money elsewhere, it's a business. You're right. It is a business. It's like the Raiders. I think, and I hope that the Raiders have finally found a home.
Right.
They put on a good.
They move around a lot. They've
been Oakland, L.A., Oakland, and now Las Vegas.
Yeah. Well, I think they were L.A. twice and Oakland twice.
Yeah. Oakland twice. Yeah.
And then Vegas. But here's the thing. You don't need to be a good team to have a team in Vegas because those seats
when the Raiders were the LA Raiders, they were pretty good here.
Oh, they were.
I saw. Oh yeah, Marcus Allen. Are you kidding me?
But what I'm saying is the casinos give away so many tickets to the hockey and football stadium that there'll never be not a sellout game in those two venues.
No.
So
they'll sell out every time.
Every time. So the money's pouring into that organization. It's almost like I don't think you were allowed to have a team in Vegas before. And because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you if you could? Can you imagine? So I think they lessened the rules on that. And right away, NHL, bam. Right away, NFL, bam. Next
baseball's next.
Yeah,
baseball or basketball.
Basketball, I was thinking, but probably baseball too, because
Right.
now, those casinos are going to want you to gamble, and the more you gamble, they're going to throw you tickets to the basketball game. They're going to throw you tickets.
What about these rumors about the fucking New York Jets moving?
Oh, I don't know about that one.
There's a rumor going around that it's either the New York Jets or the Jacksonville Jaguars. One of those two are going to be moving.
It's Jacksonville, I think.
Jacksonville? Okay. Because Jacksonville, they've had, they're not spending any money.
Well, no, they actually just not spend money, trade it the Jets to get Sam Darnold,
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the team might even be up for sale. There's something good with that. I honestly don't know it, so I don't want to speak out of turn, but I do remember hearing something about Jacksonville being for not necessarily that they're leaving, but that they're up for sale, I believe. And most teams now, when you buy a team, you leave.
I don't think the Chiefs should have lost last year, my brother.
Oh, I don't think they should have either, but their front line was so beat up, and he was always on the run.
Dude, those receivers though are ridiculous in Tampa Bay. Those are some really good receivers, and Tom Brady always put that ball. Tom Brady knows when to bring it out. He was.
He had plenty of time to throw.
But that's what you want. That's what you want.
His front line was solid, keeping him protected. You got a 40-year-old fucking quarterback back there. You better keep him fucking protected. Yeah. And then you've got these guys that they don't drop the ball. They do not drop the ball.
They don't.
And his timing is incredible. He'll put it right in their hand. The receiver won't even turn his head towards the ball until it goes into his hands. That's when he starts turning. He knows that ball is right there. Yep. So that's Tom Brady. That's Tom Brady.
And that's the thing is if you leave if you can't get to Tom Brady to disrupt him, he's going to decimate.
And Mahomes is being rushed all night. He's on his back leg all night long. He can't get a pass away. And he ended up, getting sacked 4 or 5 times. And after a while, man, you're just beat up. You're just saying, fuck.
I honestly think
I do is working.
I honestly think, and I don't say this because it's my team, but I think the Bills would have gave Tampa Bay a better run for the money. I think the Bills' defense was better last year than,
Sure it was. Sure it was.
So I'm not saying we would have won.
I think the Rams would have been a better game. I think the Rams might have been a better game.
Yeah, I'm not saying we would have beat Tampa Bay, but I think we would have given a much closer game because of the defense that we have. So they get in there, and they don't get a ton. They didn't get tons of sacks, but they got tons of disruptions.
Like, it'll be good this year.
Oh Buffalo's going to be real good this year.
I know
they're going to be real good. You got a hell of a quarterback there, and they picked up a couple of linemen to help protect him, and the kid's got an arm.
We got that other receiver now from the Saints.
They're
out there. New England is going to be out of it this year.
Yeah,
New England won't be in it.
Yeah. They're going to do some practicing, and then end of July.
It's almost on. We'll do our picks from now on our show. We'll be able to do our picks. We'll be able to pick our winners and shit and see how we do, and we'll keep track of how many games we win and how many we lose.
Oh, I'm going to win.
Oh, no, you're not going to win.
Yeah. I think we could do that. We could do that too, but we should all pick we have to back your hometown team and rip the other one a new asshole when their team loses.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. That's what we'll be doing.
So now, snow job. You got to pick either Rams or
Rams or Chargers.
Yeah. And you can't change. This is your pick.
You can't change. You got to pick a team. Pick a team.
No, I don't even know how they're playing yet. You got to give me a week into the games. I got to see how they're doing.
It's not about play. It's picking your hometown team. Who's your hometown team?
Yeah, I don't care
Oh.
how. My hometown
Oh.
team is the Chiefs, so and his is Buffalo. So
Right.
Well, I
So-
like Green Bay over the
No,
Rams.
you got to pick.
no,
You got to
hometown
pick
team.
where you live.
Where you live,
Oh,
your hometown team,
the Rams.
the Rams. Okay.
Okay.
See, that wasn't so hard.
All right.
Boy, that took us to the very end.
So potentially, mine or your team, Free Ride, could be playing his team in the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. We got 2 AFC teams, and you've got 1. Oh, 1 NFC team.
An
That's
NFC team, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're out of time, guys.
Yeah. No, that's
All right,
great.
Yeah, we're over now. It's 10 o'clock. We've beaten this one to death. Great show. I want to thank Mike LePond for coming on with us. And it was a great show. I had a really good time with you guys. And we kind of veered into the politics realm this week. Hopefully, we'll come up with a better conversation next week.
Well, when the guest brings you there, you got to go with it.
All right, guys. Bye.
Bye, I guess. Okay. Next week, tune in next week. It's going to be a great show. Don't miss it. KGFRocks.com.
Are we off yet?
No, we're getting close.
Happy
That was great.
Father's Day.
Yeah, happy Father's Day.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
See, she can't hear me. Can she hear me?
Can you hear me
Yeah.
now?
You guys hear me?
Yeah, we're still recording too. I'm still recording. So we got Happy Father's Day there. Yeah.
Oh,
So
good.
There.
We
Yeah, that was
are-
a good show. That was